Tonight on 7 News, 2 women subjected to chilling sex attacks, one inside a primary school. The suspect was out on bail.
Game on, the King officially opens the Commonwealth Games as our swimmers get set to hit the pool.
Crows fans under fire from their own team, shamed for booing Isaac Quainer.
He's at it again. Donald Trump slaps new tariffs on Australia.
A Socceroo star facing possible drug charges after 2 run-ins with police in one night.
And from France to Melbourne, non-stop, the Qantas flight reshaping the future of international travel.
This is 7 News with Karina, Carvalho and Mike Amor.
Good evening. 2 women have been subjected to chilling sex attacks in Melbourne's west, allegedly by a man out on bail.
One victim was assaulted at knife point in a terrifying home invasion. The other was set upon as she arrived to work at a primary school.
A school and a suburban street, both at the centre of a major manhunt for a sex offender wanted over a terrifying 24-hour crime spree targeting innocent women in Hoppers Crossing.
The male person of interest knocked on the front door. He was armed with a knife. He essentially barged through the front door and then sexually assaulted the female inside her premises.
That was the first of 3 crimes, less than 2 k's apart. It started at 11:30 yesterday morning. He sexually assaulted that woman at knife point inside her Whitsunday drive home before fleeing.
Got family just in the same street as well, so it's terrible news.
Detectives are investigating if a possible burglary overnight is linked. That property is right outside a primary school where another woman was sexually assaulted on school grounds around 7 this morning.
It was an employee of the school, yes.
What are the parents? They're just beside themselves right now.
Well, it's terrible.
It's deeply concerning.
Police made part of the school playground a crime scene today after going door to door at the first scene failed to stop the attacker.
Some of his appearance was quite distinctive. He was located this morning and arrested.
Detectives say the 39-year-old suspect was on bail.
Why are you giving these people bail?
The victim of yesterday's attack was too distressed to speak to us on camera. Her husband says they're both incredibly rattled and are now looking for somewhere else to stay.
I'd like to reassure the community that there is no further risk.
Jacqueline Stanley, 7 News.
2 accused car thieves have led police on a wild chase through Melbourne's southeast. Officers spotted the pair in a black Lexus with stolen licence plates in Dandenong and tried to intercept them. That sparked a pursuit that ended in Mount Waverley, where the dog squad helped to apprehend the suspects. A 16-year-old boy and a 32-year-old man were taken into custody and have been charged with dozens of offences.
The Commonwealth Games is officially underway in Glasgow after a spectacular opening ceremony that showcased the best of Scotland.
King Charles and Queen Camilla made a unique royal entrance in Doctor Who's TARDIS.
And Nina Kennedy joined Tim Hodge to lead the Australian team into the stadium.
Playing witness to a show full of Scottish flair and a touch of humour.
In Glasgow city centre, a legend of Scottish sport is on an adventure.
We'll be there in no time.
Track cycling great Sir Chris Hoy using Doctor Who's TARDIS to travel through Scotland's ages and places, from the Highlands in the Jurassic period to Loch Ness.
Sorry, mate. Do you know the way to Balmoral?
King Charles and Queen Camilla hitching a lift from their Scottish castle to Glasgow. Plenty of applause for the pair as their majesties took their place in the royal box. New British Prime Minister Andy Burnham by their side as the Parade of Nations began. 21 teams from Africa, 7 from the Americas, 8 from Asia, 14 from the Caribbean. Then, with 13 neighbours from Oceania, our turn.
Australia! What a moment for Tim Hodge and Nina Kennedy.
The flag bearer and pole vault champion determined to impress.
I was actually really nervous in terms of us athletes, we set ourselves to like the highest standard, so I wanted to wave the flag the best, and then I was like judging all the other flag bearers, but I think I did a pretty good job.
With one of 74 King's battens, a first for the Games, para swimmer Tim Hodge.
I was kind of holding Australia with me as I walked up there, so it was very much feeling the country on my shoulders.
The Aussie team, 255 strong. There was no mistaking them. The entrants watched on by family and friends back at Aussie HQ. And from teammates at the Barcelona athletics camp. Europe, the last nations to filter into the hydro. And finally,
our host nation, Scotland!
So the crowd come up as the hosts come in. Scotland.
The Brave face to face with Nessie, the Loch Ness Monster. A show in Glasgow incomplete without pipes and drums. And a bit of Scottish charm.
Scotland is a place called home.
They boogied.
Boogie, woogie, all night long.
Until the Commonwealth flag emerged. Our own para-swimmer, Matt Levy, helped to raise it.
Representing para-athletes.
There's nothing really extraordinary about these baked-in traditions when it comes to opening ceremonies, but we've never seen a venue quite like this. There's no track, no field, it's just a stage under a roof. Under the city's central clock, Scotland reminded Victoria what might have been all this in just 18 months.
To the brave hearts of Glasgow and Scotland, who stepped forward to host these games. Thank you for everything you have done to bring us here.
The King giving Glasgow the green light.
It is now my great pleasure to declare the 23rd Commonwealth Games open.
Let the gold rush begin.
And Tom Saker is live poolside in Glasgow.
Hello, Tom. Our Dolphins have been given a little more motivation to bring home a medal.
Yeah, Mike and Karina, it's not just glory our swimmers are chasing, but there is cash on the line too. Mining magnate Gina Reinhardt is offering generous bonuses for our medalists. Here's what's up for grab. There's $20,000 for gold, $15,000 for a silver medal, $10,000 for a bronze, and if an Aussie breaks a world record, they'll pocket $30,000. Our swim stars say they're grateful.
To be able to have some incentive for all of our hard work, I think, is crucial for especially us older athletes, I think, as well.
And tonight might be the first payday. The first medals are on offer tonight. We'll see Lani Pallister, who's one of the headline acts in the 400 metres freestyle individual event, plus fireworks in the 4x100 freestyle men's and women's relay. It's all happening.
Yeah, we'll be cheering on. Tom, thank you.
Today, Allan government ministers were trying to distance themselves from the cost of not hosting the Commonwealth Games in Victoria. It's just one issue the Premier is facing as speculation mounts about the future of her leadership only 4 months out from the election.
Publicly, Labor MPs insist there are no plans to topple Jacinta Allan as Premier.
No. Nobody has spoken to me about that matter.
Nobody has come to me suggesting a leadership challenge.
But privately, several have leaked details of discussions about how it might be done. Why do you think she is the best person to lead Labor?
I am clearly focused, as is the whole Labor team, on making sure that we work hard every single day.
You haven't said anything specific about Jacinta Allan.
Jacinta Allan is the Premier of Victoria.
You haven't said why you think she is the best person.
Paul, with respect, I've answered your question.
Leadership speculation, big build corruption and striking teachers are all thorns in the side of the state government this morning. Another was added with the start of the Commonwealth Games, not in Victoria as originally planned. How much did the Victorian taxpayers contribute to the Glasgow Games?
We made a decision We were very honest and clear with the Victorian community.
No, I understand the process.
Well,
I'm asking, Minister, for you to remind us, how much did the Victorian taxpayers contribute to the Games in Glasgow?
Well, with respect, Paul, what I'm saying to you is that the government continues to make the important investments in regional Victoria.
Can you not tell us how much it was?
I have answered your question.
You haven't said how much.
Now.
How many $1 million was it, Minister?
With respect, Paul, I've answered your question.
The same question to another minister.
I'm not playing that game with you, Paul, frankly.
It's not a game, this is taxpayers' money.
Well, we know exactly what it is.
And what's the amount?
I've answered the question.
The figure is around $200 million.
We would have loved to have been competing in Victoria, but we're not. We're very grateful for our Scottish friends for stepping up to host these games.
Paul Dowsley, 7 News.
The man previously accused of killing Melbourne teenager Isla Bell has failed to have his case thrown out of court. Murat Ganev was initially charged with the 19-year-old's murder before that was downgraded to manslaughter and then dropped. Today, he lost his bid to permanently halt the remaining legal case against him.
This process is just so gruelling and my heart aches.
Ganev faces charges of perverting the course of justice.
The Labor Party's big national conference in Adelaide has been hijacked by Donald Trump. Out of the blue, the US president has slapped even higher tariffs on Australia, enraging senior government ministers. And they're not alone.
A peaceful but ear-piercing protest raising the alarm on AUKUS. While at the nearby Osborne shipyards, a $4.6 billion expansion declares the nuclear subs project full steam ahead.
AUKUS is happening.
Australia's sinking more money into the deal with the UK and US on the day Donald Trump slaps Australia with new tariffs of 12.5%.
The Albanese government believes that this imposition of higher tariffs on Australia is completely unjustified.
One of 60 countries targeted, the Trump administration says, for accepting imports from countries abusing slave labour.
Even a place like Australia, where maybe they don't have a robust law like this, they might accept goods made with forced labour from, China or Malaysia or wherever, and then our goods exported from the US have to compete with that.
In the end, I think this was not about that.
Government officials agree the slave labour crackdown, false justification, they say, for replacing Donald Trump's 10% Liberation Day tariffs thrown out by the Supreme Court.
The legal regime that we have in Australia in respect of forced labour is amongst the best legal regimes that exist in the world today.
Existing exemptions on our biggest exports to the US will remain. Sales of beef, pharmaceuticals, gold and copper have skyrocketed 67% since Donald Trump threw up his tariff wall. Controversy casting Donald Trump's dark shadow over this ALP conference, where unions are urging Labor to intensify its focus on working Australians and prevent them drifting to one nation. ACTU Secretary Sally McManus saying in the fight between working Davids and billionaire Goliaths, Labor must back the Davids.
The Davids, the Susans, the Ashes, the Newans, the Priyas, the Ahmeds of Australia.
One nation she sees, of many names and faces. And after more than 200 amendments glided through without dissent, there was an actual vote today, just one vote. It was a conscience vote that will overturn Howard-era laws that have prevented telehealth being used to help people with voluntary assisted dying. And tonight, factional heavyweights are in furious discussions to avoid a real fight on the conference floor tomorrow that would see Israel called a state of genocide for its destruction of Gaza. Now, I'm told there will be a compromise on that too, to ensure that this remains a conference of uncommon calm and consensus. Mike?
Mark Riley in Adelaide. Mark, thank you. A woman has been charged with murder over the bizarre death of a motorcyclist east of Melbourne. The 53-year-old is accused of shooting the man dead in January 2024. His body was found at the scene of a motorcycle accident in Yarram, east of Melbourne, but his injuries were not consistent with a motorcycle crash. There's been a dramatic twist in the Origin Energy cyber attack.
with the hacker coming forward claiming to have struck a deal. But despite millions of customers' details at stake, no one has been told, with the company going to ground.
Origin Energy's $7 million CEO, Frank Calabria, refusing to face the public except on his own social platforms.
Customers trust us with their information, so I am very sorry this has happened.
Origin, Australia's biggest gas and electricity retailer, reeling from a data breach of up to 2 million customers. While they're refusing to comment further, the hacker seems happy to. They don't care about customer security at all, they reportedly said. They just care about saving money. Telling the Australian newspaper it was revenge for Origin offshoring jobs to the Philippines. Calling himself Edison Walthaw, he boasted the hack was easy. School projects have better security. From the opposition,
it's simply not good enough that the public has been in the dark about this.
The hacker claims the crisis is settled. Speculation now, a ransom's been paid.
If they decide that it's better for them to make a payment and settle the deal with the hacker, they'll conduct that activity as well.
Origin calling that considerable media speculation, adding, our investigation is ongoing. We have no further updates.
There are serious questions that need to be answered here.
The hacker claims they contacted Origin 3 weeks ago. Authorities only told on Wednesday after media reports.
I think it'll be something that the federal government will probably want to start investigating.
Australian companies are legally obliged to urgently report data breaches or face fines of $50 million or 30% of revenue. The question here is, did Origin act fast enough in a breach that could rank among the nation's biggest? Chris Reason, 7 News.
Now to the fallout from Collingwood's win over the Crows in Adelaide last night.
Beck Maddern's here, and the Crows have been condemned by their own fans.
Yes, Mike. Isaac Quainer says he was left confused as a chorus of boos echoed around Adelaide Oval. Today, he took the high road as his coach and the South Australian Premier weighed in.
They cried as one.
I think everyone's a bit confused by it. But yeah, I obviously understand why.
Again and again. Almost 12 months since Quaynor was the target of homophobic language, some fans clearly still blaming him for Isaac Rankin's subsequent suspension.
Yeah, my understanding he was a victim of a homophobic slur, and he's getting booed for that.
Not used to being booed, the cowardly chorus, even reaching the office of the South Australian Premier.
I don't think it's fair dinkum. I don't think it's the right thing to do.
But when Crows fans went low, Quaynor and the Pies went high.
I'm sure I can speak on Isaac's behalf in regards to that we probably both just want to move past this. You're allowed to make mistakes. I'm sure he's learned from it. Yeah, so I feel like it just drags it on a little bit.
The background of leading into this game, it's not ideal the way it played out tonight.
Adelaide CEO Tim Silvers took it a step further today, slamming Crows fans, saying the behaviour of some crossed the line last night. Put simply, it was inappropriate and not good enough. The controversy at Adelaide Oval last night even prompting a response from AFL House, with CEO Andrew Dillon saying the targeted booing of Quaynor is not what we want to see in our game.
I actually grabbed Isaac Rankin at the end of the game and went up to him and said, mate, we've got great respect for a young man. You know, people are allowed to make mistakes. They are. We're all human.
Yeah, hopefully that's it for that.
4 points in the bag, and after the way Quaynor's handled this, some new admirers too. Theo Doropoulos, 7 News.
Also coming up, we are live to the MCG for Friday night footy as the Cats aim to end Melbourne's 3-game winning streak. Also, Will opens up on the moment. He thought his days were gone, and the Aussie defector making waves in Glasgow. Plus, big contract news for a young kangaroo. I'll have all the details for you shortly.
See you then. Thanks, Beck. A star Socceroo has found himself at the centre of a drug driving scandal, where police caught him. Next on 7 News.
Also ahead, Australia farewells our last World War II Kokoda track veteran.
Why time's running out to pocket cash with Victoria's Rego rebate.
And going, gone. Pam the bird has bolted from her bridgetop perch. A major crime crackdown targeting car thieves in Ballarat has resulted in 10 arrests and the recovery of 11 stolen vehicles. Officers on the ground tracked the stolen cars with help from the Air Wing and Dog Squad. In one case, an 18-year-old and 22-year-old fled on foot, but their time on the run was short-lived, quickly arrested nearby. 2 more suspects from another car were found hiding outside a house.
Just weeks after playing at the World Cup, Socceroos star Christian Volpato is in serious trouble, accused of speeding twice in one night while high on cocaine. The 22-year-old was behind the wheel of a luxury BMW, allegedly travelling almost 50 kilometres over the limit.
A young talent that's made it to the world stage,
Christian Volpato,
but now making headlines for all the wrong reasons. 22-year-old Christian Volpato allegedly caught speeding while high on cocaine last night. It was an eventful day. It started with Volpato visiting his old school on Sydney's lower North Shore to meet junior soccer players, later posting to his Instagram story at Bondi Beach. Around 11 p.m, though, he was stopped by police in his luxury BMW on Anzac Bridge, allegedly caught 20 kilometres an hour over the speed limit, issued a traffic infringement notice. But just 2 hours later, he was stopped again in almost the exact same location. This time, police say he was doing 109 in a 60 zone and failed a drug test.
Volpato's international driver's licence has been suspended for 6 months, but he hasn't been charged with any criminal offence. It's understood that will come down to the result of a second drug test.
7 News understands he was due to return to Italy today, where he plays for a club team, to begin pre-season training. If he is charged, the young Socceroo could have to return to Australia. This time for a homecoming he certainly wouldn't want. Nick Overall, 7 News.
3.5 million Victorians have now taken advantage of the state's vehicle registration rebate, with less than a week left to go on the scheme.
And 90% of those applications have already been processed and the money has flowed through to those bank accounts.
Drivers can claim as much as $186 per vehicle.
Australia's last surviving veteran of the Kokoda campaign, Reg Chard, has died at the age of 102. He was a brave digger who never wanted to be known as a hero, dedicating his life to keeping his comrades' memory alive.
Kokoda, one of Australia's darkest battles. Fighting the Japanese, the jungle and disease. Casualties in the thousands, and now at 102, the last survivor, Reg Chard, has died. He was a soldier to the very end, fighting for his beloved Kokoda Memorial in Sydney.
This is a part of you, isn't it?
This is, as my son says, take your bloody bed over there, Dad.
Pushing against politicians who tried to pull funding.
We're back here again and you have to fight for this funding again.
Again, all the time.
It was the place that gave him healing and purpose when his wife Betty passed away.
This place is your legacy.
It is my legacy.
Reg was a baker sent to fight in New Guinea, losing a third of his body weight. What the battle didn't take, time did. By 2020, the Kokoda survivors dwindled. Keeping their memories alive, his greatest mission.
And all those poor devils that died, they would have died for nothing.
Reg overcame enemy fire and shocking jungle diseases, but back home there was a label he battled as much as anything. He couldn't stomach being called a hero. Humble to the very end.
You don't see yourself as a hero?
No.
His son telling 7 News he passed away this morning in hospital in southwest Sydney. Their Reg, our rare treasure of World War II, finally at peace. Serena Andaloro, 7 News.
Pam, the bird's wings have now been clipped, with the graffiti atop the Balti Bridge covered. Transurban teams spent a second day 140 metres up the tower painting over the infamous bird. The toll operator is footing the $200,000 bill for the clean-up.
Meteorologist Jane Bunn joins us now.
And Jane, it turned grey to end the week.
Oh, steely grey skies, but they have more bark than bite. It reached 14 in the city after a mostly sunny morning and a cold start. Our snow resorts picked up 3 to 5 centimetres of snow by the morning, along with properly cold temperatures as cold as -6. They have pumped out a lot of new snow. The resorts are looking fresh and much more like winter. More terrain is opening and there's a system next week that looks good. More soon. Mike and Karina.
Great. Thanks so much, Jane. A new long-haul service is set to revolutionise how we fly. Next on 7 News, Project Sunrise touches down non-stop from France to Australia.
Also ahead, the oil price soars as the US considers a massive attack on Iran.
The Gippsland man's remarkable survival saved by a roadside surgical procedure.
An embarrassing backfire for a foul-mouthed political heckler.
Melbourne was the centre of the aviation universe when a very special plane touched down at Tullamarine.
Flying non-stop from Toulouse to Melbourne, the intercontinental Qantas flight drew quite a crowd as plane spotters clamoured for the best view.
4,500 flights every day across Australia, only one pulls a crowd like this, the longest test flight for the newest Airbus.
A special plane.
How special is it?
Very special. It hadn't even gone into service yet.
16,000 kilometres, 19 hours and 15 minutes non-stop from France.
FS35 Lima Romeo, congratulations on this Project Sunrise milestone.
We all love planes, don't we? It's a historic moment, not just for Melbourne, but Australia and the world.
These boys drove from Sydney to Tullamarine's car park roof.
We left at 7 p.m. last night, arrived at 5 a.m. this morning.
Some cooked sausages while waiting. They brought ladders and lenses galore. Others with picnics for a proper day out.
It's not just a plane, it's a special plane.
So special it created a minor stampede to claim best vantage point. All for this.
Get the shot? Yes, I did, yes. Yeah, finally. It was a tricky one.
The purpose of the flight was to look at the fuel systems and the modifications we've done to this aircraft in particular.
The flight didn't set any world records for time or distance, but it didn't need to be significant. Those records will come next year when it starts flying those Sydney-London non-stop. This aircraft is here till Monday and then it flies back to France.
Qantas will base some of these aircraft in Melbourne.
We know many people connect through Sydney, so we would like to put forward the business case for direct services for sure.
Alistair drew the plane in pencil, presenting it to Airbus pilots.
They deserve to have it. They flew all this way, testing this brand new aircraft.
Blake Johnson, 7 News.
The price of oil has hit its highest level in months today, surging 7% to more than $100 a barrel as the turmoil in the Middle East intensifies. The US is threatening a return to full-scale combat against Iran, declaring it's considering a massive attack.
The situation is getting out of control. It's teetering on the edge of the unimaginable.
Iran's terrorist proxy, the Houthis, have struck Saudi Arabian tankers in the Red Sea in missile attacks.
A woman's attempt to heckle a politician has backfired spectacularly in the UK.
We'll just send a couple of people over.
Yeah. She won't be doing that again,
yeah.
The woman was targeting Reform leader Nigel Farage. Other than Pride, no one was hurt in the bingle.
A Gippsland footballer who nearly died on the way to footy training has been reunited with the man who saved his life. Tom Gray was sitting at the traffic lights when everything went black.
It's not often you get to meet your heroes. In Tom's case, they were the ones who saved his life.
I remember them pulling me out, which wasn't pleasant at all. And then, they must have put me in a coma shortly after.
It was February 20 when the Yallourn footballer's car was hit on the way to training.
Tom was obviously critically unwell when ambulances first arrived. I was diagonal, pinned hard to the left. Just remember seeing everything was just crushed around me.
Josh Arundale performed a procedure called a finger thoracostomy, something he'd never done in an urgent setting.
To insert your finger and then release the pressure from air or blood that's built up within the chest wall from the traumatic injury.
With a broken neck, 10 broken ribs, lacerated spleen and liver, Tom was losing blood. He needed urgent transport to the Alfred Hospital, where he spent the next 3 weeks.
Seeing him so critically unwell and now to see him recovered, it's very rewarding.
Touring the machine that flew him to Melbourne too, Tom says reuniting with the Ambo Vic team has filled a lot of blanks from that fateful night.
They saved my life, so I'll be forever in debt.
Laura Turner, 7 News.
There are disturbing allegations Adelaide hospital staff were illegally snooping on former AFL great Tony Modra. Details next.
Also ahead on 7 News, grieving families have their say on the SeaWorld chopper tragedy.
How much for a piece of Hollywood history? Batman's Wayne Manor goes under the hammer.
And the $1 million lifeline to keep Melbourne's theatre scene thriving.
Hello. The news of Trump's tariff hike has left many Australian industries reeling today. Our nation's farming leaders strongly objecting to the US government's decision, with sheep meat impacted. Our wine industry says it will have the worst effect on bulk wine sales. Surging oil prices and inflation pressures could spell bad news for mortgage holders, with many predicting an interest rate rise in August. The Reserve Bank is widely tipped to lift rates again if oil remains above $100 a barrel. And Google has been hit with a $1.5 billion fine for allegedly favouring its own services in search results. The European Commission says the rules are aimed at reining in the power of big tech. Australian shares fell today, dragged by miners and tech, the Aussie dollar buying 69.8 US cents.
A major investigation is underway after 8 health workers allegedly accessed the medical records of AFL great Tony Modra. The former Crow star was being treated at Adelaide's Flinders Medical Centre after a serious truck crash near Victor Harbour. SA Health has apologised to the Modra family, confirming 3 staff members are now under investigation.
The heartbroken families of the SeaWorld chopper crash victims have spoken on the final day of an inquest in Queensland. The 2023 tragedy claimed 4 lives, while survivor Nicholas Tadros lost a leg. The families say they will never fully recover from the nightmare. They hope lessons learned from the disaster will lead to safer skies.
Melbourne's theatre industry has been thrown a $1 million lifeline as major productions face their toughest conditions in years. Taxpayers are chipping in to make sure the show goes on and local productions take centre stage.
The curtain fell early on The Waitress and Beetlejuice, with the musicals unexpectedly calling time on their interstate tours after their Melbourne performances.
I haven't seen this many just overnight kind of closures of shows in my career.
We account for more than 40% of musical theatre productions in Australia.
To keep that going, the state and local governments are offering $1 million for the development and production of new shows in Victoria.
What this will do is help support homegrown talent.
Half of the funding is to get Australian stories to the stage.
We want to see the next Billy Elliot made here in Melbourne.
And there's plenty more in the pipeline. Pretty Woman is currently playing at the Regent, and Six the Musical is on at the Comedy Theatre. In 2 weeks, the Neil Diamond musical will open, so too will Monty Python's Spamalot. And later this year, Mrs Doubtfire will show at the Princess Theatre.
It's a nice moment for an industry that is struggling to hear some good news. Go and see what you can and support the theatre.
Ava Cashmore, 7 News.
Batman fans can now live like Bruce Wayne if they have a spare $45 million. The Californian mansion used as Wayne Manor in the 1960s television series is up for sale. It featured in more than 100 episodes starring Adam West and Burt Ward. The Tudor-style estate boasts lavish living and the chance to own a piece of Hollywood history just for $45 million cheap.
Worth every cent. Well, Beck is back with sport, and Beck, a huge edition of Friday Night Footy.
Yeah, indeed. Hello, everyone. It is 9th against 6th. Tom Morrissey is live at the MCG after the break to preview this huge game and get the latest on a brave Demons road to recovery. Also, a superstar Hawk opens up about the day he thought he was done. The Pies thrive in hostile territory to make it 6 straight and meet the Aussie defector, adding spice to the Commonwealth Games. Welcome back. The Demons and Cats are set to face off in Friday Night Footy. Tom Morris is there at the MCG for us this evening. Tom, this one has big ramifications for September.
It absolutely does, Beck. If Melbourne win, they could potentially be third tonight. Geelong, if they lose, will be 3 games behind the Demons. So big ramifications, not just for the 8 or the 6, but also potentially for the top 4. Now, big news out of Geelong today. Paddy Dangerfield will play on into a 20th season next year. Now, tonight is game 375. If he plays every game until the end of the home and away season, that gets him to 379. Potentially 5 finals gets him to 384. So the big watch is on next year if he can get to game 400. Now, about 150 metres to my left, a month or so ago, Brodie Myercheck suffered a sickening neck injury. He hasn't done any media at all with external media, and we spoke to him a few minutes ago.
I started running today, which is a positive, and the last couple of weeks I've been doing a bit of gym, so anything I could do to get moving, and main thing being involved with the boys as well throughout the week and obviously game day. But yeah, it makes me happy getting around everyone and at least getting some exercise in.
And Myercheck also said that he is keen to play football again as early as round 1 next year. Of course, he's contracted at the D's in 2027. Speaking of Melbourne, there is warm confidence at the club that the Caulfield Racecourse option as a training base will materialise in the next couple of weeks. So that's very much a watch this space, with a board meeting due to take place on Monday at Melbourne. And just another late change for Geelong tonight. Sam de Koning is out with illness, and Ollie Henry comes in.
OK, Tom Morris, enjoy that rain there at the MCG. We'll be watching. Thank you. Well, dubbed the missing piece in the Hawks premiership puzzle, Will Day admits fearing he'd never recover from a persistent foot issue, but he's confident his wretched injury run is now finally a thing of the past.
Back on the right foot after a rollercoaster 3 years, sometimes you just need to have a few lucky days.
Having the foot stuff and then having this shoulder this year was a bit of a punch in the guts, but yeah, to be able to get past that and think more positively was probably the best thing I did. Just think of the silver linings and the progress I was able to make.
That progress came in baby steps after a best and fairest win in 2023. 2024 derailed due to trouble with his navicular, and 2025 just 6 games with 2 more foot issues as his season came to a premature close.
Human nature, you always think when they are popping up again and again, you do think the worst, but the quicker I was able to get into a positive mindset and think forward, now I have no concerns at all.
Tonlu Ratore is back for the Dogs ahead of tomorrow night's Tigers clash. Their wildcard spot almost cemented, currently 8th, but can jump to 7th with a win. But even that's not enough for Luke Beveridge.
Everyone's doing their best to try and climb into that 6. You know, it's winning 5 in a row is going to be a monumental challenge for anyone.
And a huge boost for the Roos, with young gun Finn O'Sullivan resisting temptation of a Tassie shift, signing a new deal until the end of 2029 as the Devils prepare to raid rival clubs.
I've been through the Bud situation, so the biggest player in the game at that point in time. So that's the landscape of free agency in these start-up clubs.
Theo Doropoulos, 7 News.
The Pies are threatening to storm into the top 6 after a massive upset win over the Crows in Adelaide. Dan McStay and Nick Dacos kicking spectacular goals as Collingwood came from 27 points down to win by 34.
Dacos picks it up, plays on from 48 out. He drills the goal.
The only sour note, a knee injury to Braden Maynard. Cycling defector Matthew Richardson says his change of allegiance has paid off heading into the Glasgow Games. He is told the Times of London there's no expense spared mentally to the way the Brits go racing, and he now travels with 4 or 5 bikes instead of 1.
Look, he had that option to change allegiances. He did. We wish him well in his change.
The 27-year-old won 2 silvers and a bronze for Australia at the Paris Olympics. There are 14 gold medals up for grabs tonight, including 9 in the swimming. Watch out for Lani Pallister and our 4x100 metre relay teams in the pool. Now, tonight we need to get all your channels in order. Yeah, the Commonwealth Games starts straight after the news on 7, so don't do anything. Footy pre-game is on 7, mate, if you want to watch that. Then at 7:30 they actually swap channels, so the normal footy on the normal 7. 7 Plus, of course, has every event from Glasgow and the footy live, so you have all your choices all night long.
You need multiple
for the next
screens.
10 days.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Spoiled for choices.
Yeah. Thanks so much,
Beck.
Beck.
Pleasure.
Rare vintage finds and festive market treats headline this week's Pick and Vic. Here's Tyra Stowers.
If you're a fan of thrifting, this is for you. The EBV Vintage Market is back in Brunswick East this Sunday. Browse through 30 vendors showcasing their best rare gems or one-of-a-kind statement pieces. It all kicks off at 10. Now, we have our own Euro celebrations right here in Melbourne. A wintry Christmas in July festival at the Queen Victoria Market, complete with live ice sculpting, giant snow globes, sparkling decorations, festive performers and limited time food and drink specials. That's on this Wednesday. Sticking with the festive theme, tomorrow the Brighton Town Hall will light up for a bingo fundraiser. The theme, Christmas in July. With loads of giveaways and surprises right throughout the night, funds raised will help the likes of children in need and the vulnerable. I hope you have a great week.
Jane's back now with the forecast.
Jane, what's in store for the weekend?
Well, one of the days has a burst of wet weather, the other looks quite dry. And on tonight's bright side, a dream comes true for a little girl battling a rare condition.
Hello, Premier.
Oh, hello, Paul.
Seems like you're dodging us.
No.
Two people have been found inside.
What are your grounds for appeal?
I'm just good looking. That's why I appeal. Girls like you.
I don't think that's correct.
It's at least a 2 to 3 hour delay.
And I can only imagine, this is a tremendously lonely illness.
Yeah, it is. But Neil's brought it to the forefront.
Boys, your name's Paul, right?
Are we friends?
Yes, we are.
Hello again. Showers increase again tomorrow. This morning brought lots of sunshine. It was 7.5 in the city. Cloud built for a grey afternoon, peaking at 13.6. Showers streamed across the southeast, 15 millimetres in Phillip Island. They gradually eased back during the morning, but they were not completely finished. The afternoon was generally dry before further showers developed over the past 2 hours. Now, the evening is looking mostly dry, but these may affect the footy from time to time. Most reached 13 or 14 after a chilly start away from the wet weather in the southeast. Showers continued across the southwest of the state, western Gippsland and the Ranges. They're not really spreading any further east than Sale, and they skip western parts of Melbourne, both thanks to the topography. It was clear at first in the north, a widespread frost before cloud spread through, but it remains dry there. Yesterday's cold front and cold outbreak have moved on here over the Tasman, heading for New Zealand. We're now on the cool side of the high, no longer feeling air from near Antarctica. There are more fronts to come. The ones on the weekend aren't as chilly as yesterday's, and the one next Tuesday into Wednesday may not be as bitter as first projected, but each front ushers in a burst of wet weather. Around the nation tomorrow, bright sunshine in Brisbane and Sydney. Fog and frost in Canberra, then sunny. The odd shower in Hobart, but lots of showers in Adelaide. Lots of sunshine in Perth. To Victoria, frost is confined to the northeast valleys at first. A new burst of showers spreads through, making it right up into the far north and far east. Not as cold as it has been. Snow is only about the alpine peaks. Closer in, showers stream through as the next front increases the wet weather. Not just in the southeast, they're a risk for everyone. They're mainly during the day. It does look quite dry by the evening. The city's temperature doesn't move much, a top of 15. Showers passing through, clearing up by the evening. To the 8-day outlook, Sunday is looking generally dry, 9 to 16. We'll have some sunny breaks during the day, just the odd shower, mainly in the southeast. On Monday, all dry, top of about 15. We're 15 on Tuesday. Showers arrive during the morning, continue through the day. They will ease back as we go through Wednesday, but there's some colder air in there. 13s for Wednesday and Thursday, but not as cold as what it once was. 15 is the top tomorrow, showers passing through. Now to tonight's bright side. For 7-year-old Addison, this is a dream come true.
You've got an elf on the shelf.
The White Christmas made possible by Make-A-Wish. granting the dream holiday for the young girl facing a mighty battle with severe aplastic anemia.
I'm super excited to see it snow. My favourite part was snowballs and skiing.
And she didn't miss with those snowballs. All, of course, out of love. That looks like a ball of fun on the slopes.
It does, doesn't it?
Oh, lovely for Addison. No, thanks, Jane.
Jane. And that's 7 News for this Friday. We'll have updates throughout the night.
We're live to Glasgow next for the Commonwealth Games.